werewolf fans, I finally got me some Loosecollector werewolves. Gonna review them for you now. Hit the like button for me, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at DeanKnight333. Enjoy the video. So it's taken me a long time to finally get around to purchasing any of these Loosecollector werewolves, and the original reason for me kind of passing on them was because I had this veteran William werewolf in the middle here, but I didn't realize how much bigger these Loosecollector werewolves were going to be. So for quite a long time I kind of just didn't think about it because, you know, I'm trying to be careful about what I get. I don't have space for anything anymore, so I have to sell a lot of stuff soon. And I was just thinking, well, I got the veteran William, that's such a great werewolf figure, I don't really need these new ones that I'm seeing floating around out there. I didn't really look too hard because I didn't want to get tempted. But gradually over time I just saw more and more videos popping up about them, and when I realized how big they were, they're 1/12 scale, same as veteran William here, but we're going to do lots of height comparisons so you can see what they look like next to 1/6 scale figures, like NECA 7-inch figures, other 1/12 scale characters. But in the end it was undeniable, they just look incredible. There is some issues that we need to talk about, but I've got the brown version and the grey version, but he kind of reads a bit bluey grey on the right there. But his name is Morocco and the brown one is Garros, sorry. Yeah, so I'm getting used to it all. I've got the white one and the black one on pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store, so I think they're coming out in May. It's like a second wave where they've made some improvements to articulation. Yeah, I was sleeping on these big time. Now, while I was waiting for these to arrive, I did watch a number of videos on YouTube, different reviews, unboxings on these figures. Some great videos out there. One guy in particular, I don't know the name off the top of my head, but it's the really nice, vibrant, kind of purplish background to his reviews. That's gorgeous setup he's got going on there. He reviewed the grey one, and it looked amazing. But yeah, one of the issues I'm seeing a lot in the videos is people were getting these figures and they've got very stiff joints or very loose joints in certain places. Mine is a bit of a combination of all that, especially the brown one. That one has very kind of loose knees and ankles, but where the legs attached to the body is extremely stiff. Elbows not so bad, hands are very wobbly, and the arms connect onto the body. That's very, very stiff in that area. The grey one, I had to use a heat gun to loosen up all the joints, but once I did, they stayed stiff enough but will move now. So I feel pretty confident that the grey one will stay standing up when I leave the room. Brown one, not so much. And they're going to be difficult figures to figure out a stand for. I think you'd have to get one custom made, maybe something that just goes up between their legs and kind of cradles their area so they don't fall over. But if you had a really smooth surface with these feet, they'd just slide around anyway, so you'd probably want to get maybe some thin double-sided tape and put it under their feet on the base so that they don't slide around, because they are very top heavy. But I had an experience because I bought a white version of these werewolves on eBay, and I think it was in France, and I bought it and the seller on eBay contacted me the next day, said I have to refund your money because they've all been recalled because of issues with the articulation and joints and stuff. So I know Loosecollector apparently are, you know, making changes and improvements for the later batches. So my white one and black one that I've got on pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store will be from the latest fixed batch. So that's going to be interesting. I'll review those for you once they arrive, folks. I think they're supposed to be coming out maybe in May. So we've got these two in the meantime. Didn't have the space for all four, but I'm such a big werewolf fan and these are so incredible looking, I had to do it, and I mostly wanted the black one. On the back of the box you can see the different versions. So I think it's denim, That's the black one. He's got kind of scars across his face. They all have yellow eyes apart from the white one. Voxlark, is that how you say it? But he's got red eyes, and I don't really need a white werewolf in the collection. I don't know why, it just doesn't appeal to me. So I'll probably repaint this one black so that he'll have red eyes and black fur, and then I'll have Dylan with the yellow eyes and black fur, and I can do some dry brushing when I paint this one black and give it kind of, you know, sort of maybe grey dry brushing to highlight it and make it look nice and pretty on camera and display. So yeah, or maybe I'll leave it white. Maybe, who knows, it could surprise me, and when he gets here I end up really loving the white werewolf, because I'll already have a black one here with Dylan. Yep, so there was me foolishly thinking that these two on either side of the veteran William figure were going to be more or less the same height as him. Little did I know how big the difference was going to be. They're all 1/12 scale figures that you're seeing here. But these werewolves, I don't know, I haven't read anything about this, but I would assume the main inspiration for the design of these came from Van Helsing, possibly. I mean, their hands are massive. They're 1/12 scale figures, but their hands are as big as quarter scale Hot Toys figure hands. That's how big they are, or 1/6 scale Hulk hands maybe. They're really big. I mean, that gives you an idea of what you're working with here. Because the veteran William figure, he's 1/12 scale, but his hands are pretty much 1/6 scale hands if you compare them. So it's interesting how it all works out, just the disproportionate look that a werewolf has. And veteran William is like, help me! That's right, you are in between a whole lot of trouble. So here is the Fairray Planet veteran William werewolf figure, 1/12 scale, next to a Mezco 1/12 scale Freddy Krueger. So they are the same scale. That's just to give you an idea of how big these Loosecollector werewolves are. Yeah, I can't even fit it in the frame. Freddy's like, okay, yep, won't be going near your dreams. Jesus, look at that thing. That is a hell of a sculpt, isn't it? I mean, for all the issues I'm having moving the damn thing, it's not going to be a pose fest, guys. You know, you'll know what I mean if you get one. Well, depending on, you know, how your situation is with your particular one that you get. I've got a bit unlucky with my brown one, he's a bit wobbly, but the grey one, I'm not having any trouble with that one. So, hopefully with the new batches that will all be sorted out. But it is crazy to see. I mean, they're both 1/12 scale figures. Here is a NECA 7-inch Ultimate Michael Myers from Halloween Ends next to the Loosecollector 1/12 scale Werewolf. Absolutely dwarfs it. Michael has soiled himself. And here is the Trick or Treat Studios Scream Greats Michael Myers from the original Halloween 1978. Check out the review on this figure if you ain't seen it on the channel. This figure has probably the best, most accurate, officially made for a figure 78 mask I've ever seen. But yep, he is a little bit bigger than the NECA figures, but still, they are towering over him. And this is how they look next to 1/6 scale figures. This is the 1/6 scale Hot Toys Deadpool from Deadpool Wolverine. So that's 1/6 scale, and again the werewolves are 1/12 scale. Usually 1/12 scale figures come up to about, I guess, the top of his leg. I'll grab Freddy again the Mezco Freddy. Yeah, so about groin height. Yeah, that's worked out, hasn't it? And then just to wrap it up there, but not totally with the comparisons, because I'm also in this review I'll show you these werewolves next to other werewolves from other companies like the Kessler Wolf by NECA from American Werewolf in London, the Syndicate Collectibles Howling Werewolf, and more. So keep it locked. But that is the retro cloth NECA Michael Myers from Halloween 2. He's about 8 inch tall. So we'll come back to the comparisons in a little while. Wolf versus wolf versus wolf. I'll just show you this quickly. I'm not finished yet, but since I got the Sideshow Pennywise for the Horror Icons lineup in 1/6 scale, this shelf still needs sorting out. It's got stuff on there that's not supposed to be there, like the Raptors. Find somewhere else for them to go. But yeah, I've made space for Pennywise, and I have to repose everything. There's another Freddy now, so there's 2 Freddys up here, one from part 2 and one from part 3, but I'll show you more of that later. So this is my little werewolf section, and I'm going to have to extend it obviously because of these Loosecollector werewolves, and it means I have to get rid of my vampire section, which I really liked, having my little vampire bit here. Mostly caustic plastic 1/6 scale figures. Bela Lugosi, Dracula, Count Orlok, Nosferatu, Christopher Lee, all 3 by caustic plastic. And then you got David from the Lost Boys by Sideshow. And might have to try and get Vampirella in there, but then I can't really keep this like this because I really want to have this section for more werewolves. Definitely can't fit the Loosecollector werewolves in this bit. There's just no space. This is the other Veteran William, the one you saw at the beginning. That Veteran William figure that's kind of brown and white. This was my spare one that I painted black. Looked really good. I did a video on the channel, so check it out. My girlfriend got me the little werewolf statue in the back there, sitting on some skulls. I'll show you all this soon. I have to rearrange things and sort things out, and yeah, but I'll do plenty of comparisons in this video with these werewolves that you're seeing. So you got Eddie Quest 1/6 scale and the Howling. Oh, let's get a look at the brown one turning here. And like I said in a video recently, we are really due another good werewolf film. Oh, I watched Werewolves, the one where everyone changes at the full moon. It's kind of like The Purge with werewolves. It was alright. It was alright. You know, I mean, I appreciate that it was practical. They had real werewolf suits, and it was alright. I didn't really, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I can see myself watching that again. And I wouldn't mind if we saw some figures from the movie. I thought the mouth area looked a bit weird looking, but other than that, pretty damn good werewolf designs in that film. So yeah, finally got to see Werewolves. But we are due another really good werewolf movie. I think the really good last one we had was like 20 years ago with Dog Soldiers, so that's my favourite horror movie of all time. But I love The Howling. That's my favourite werewolf design. I think that's the best depiction of werewolves ever on screen. That scene in the office is still scary. But yeah, this is really reminding me of the Van Helsing werewolf, and I think that will please a lot of people. I'm trying to remember now, the werewolf at the beginning, it's been a long time since I saw Van Helsing, but I think the one at the beginning was like a grey colour. Then Hugh Jackman turned into the black fur werewolf at the end. So between all these different versions by Loosecollector here, I think you'll be able to have that covered. But it definitely reminds me of the, I'm gonna have to Google it and remind myself, but the ears, the face, you know, the shape of the head does remind me, from what I'm remembering, of Van Helsing, the Hugh Jackman one. Okay, so that's the werewolf from the beginning of the Van Helsing film. That definitely, I mean, even the way the ears are back. Yeah, this is 100% definitely what this is inspired by, which is awesome. More so with the grey one here. That would probably be the closest to the one from the beginning of the movie. And then when Hugh Jackman changes, it's a bit different looking. Bit more fur around the sides. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much Dylan from the Loosecollector line. So, and then you do have the one from Underworld there, the white one. That could be the white werewolf that they're making. So, yeah, always got to tip your hat to some of the great werewolf movie designs. Bad Moon, that's an awesome werewolf. I'd love to see someone do a figure of that one. And love the Dog Soldiers design. It's really creepy. Yeah, my favorite design, the Howling, the original, Eddie Quist. And I just love biped werewolves on their hind legs, you know. I do love the Kessler Wolf. Do love that movie, American Werewolf in London. A lot of people's favourite, and totally understand why. But I hope Robert Eggers doesn't shy away from everyone. You usually watch special features on werewolf movies ever since American Werewolf in London and The Howling, because that had a fantastic transformation as well. But people say there's just no point, you know. American Werewolf in London did the transformation so well, why try to beat it? I think it's time for someone to try to beat it. I think the technology is there, and I'm not talking about just CGI, but animatronics and all that. It's all advanced a lot. So I think someone should try and beat it. It's time someone stepped up. If I was a movie director, you bet your balls I would do it. I've always had these visions in my head of certain scenes I would love to do in a werewolf movie. Quite brutal, vicious, terrifying, because I think the werewolf, ever since I was a kid, I always thought this has the potential to be the most frightening thing ever seen on screen. Because that primal fear that kicks in, even if a dog, you know, you're just out randomly one day and someone's dog is like a big dog, is like kind of gets off the leash and it's looking fierce and running at you. I mean, imagine that times a million with a werewolf. And plus you'd be in shock thinking, oh, they are real. So like they said in Dog Soldiers, if they're real, what else is real? You may never get another night's sleep as long as you live. Okay, let's take a look at the grey one on the rotating base. I haven't familiarised myself enough with their individual names to get them just rolling off my tongue, folks, so I'm just going to say colours at the moment. But by the time the white one and the black one arrive, I should be up to speed. I've always been terrible at remembering names. I feel really bad about it, but it's just one of those things. I just struggle. So, yeah, apart from the ears, you know, the kind of direction they're kind of pointing, there isn't much of a difference here. I'm just looking as they turn, I'm just looking over at the brown one to see if all the veins and muscles are exactly the same sculpt. They may not be. I mean, if they did just reuse these bodies and repaint them and change the heads slightly, it wouldn't bother me too much because the sculpt is so good for the body. But there may be some little differences. I'll check that out for you in a moment and I'll come back to you and let you know. I'll just give you this footage first. Now, I was showing my girlfriend these before they arrived, and the first thing she said was, I don't like seeing the joints. And, you know, I get that, but I don't think the joints are bad on this at all. I think the paint on these is kind of bled into the plastic or something, or it's molded in the colour it's supposed to be, because I haven't had any issues so far. Even when I've been struggling with moving joints, I haven't had any paint chips or anything like that. So I think they're like solid paint all the way through, possibly. I don't know. But after hearing all the kind of scary stories about articulation troubles and stuff, I figured, you know, surely there would be issues with paint chipping, probably just because of my experiences with, like with Namu dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. But I don't think they're going to have any issues. I don't know, I'll have to let you know in the future weeks as they go along and I get more used to these figures. But apart from troubles with movement, they are very sturdy and heavy pieces. It's really like solid heavy plastic. When you first get them out of the box, it's quite a shock. But what an amazing presence. I mean, if you're a werewolf fan like me, I can't believe I waited this long to get them, but in a way I'm kind of glad I did, because the first batch was the most problematic with the articulation. Later batches now seem to be sorting it out. So I guess, you know, if you haven't got one yet, you can order them at Big Bad Toy Store. Mad About Horror should get these. Might have to have a word, because if Mad About Horror in the UK started selling these, they would sell out instantly. A lot of people are very interested in these, and now I can finally see why. It has justified your intrigue. Now, some people are saying, you know, you should probably remove the tail, because you can do that, and most werewolves in films don't have a tail. I can't remember if the Van Helsing one had one. I don't think it did. And it's true. I mean, the Howling... Did they have a tail? I don't think so. No, they don't. Miracle World of London didn't have a tail. Dog Soldiers didn't have a tail. Bad Moon... I don't think so. So, yeah, you can just remove the tail if you want to. Take it away. That's optional. But you will have a little hole in his butt from where his tail should go if you do remove it. But I suppose you're not going to really see it from the back, are you? Man, the sculpt is just killing me. The fierceness in the face and the lovely yellow eyes. I'm glad they didn't do the, you know, pupils or anything like that. Just keep them plain. Something really demonic about it. So I'll just give you a close-up look at the teeth and the face, the nose. It's all painted really well, and the jaw articulates. It's not loose. Jaw's fine on both of my figures. And the nose has a bit of gloss on it, not too heavy. The teeth have more heavy gloss, as they should do, and the gums. And love the ears. Pointing up like that makes them look really fierce. And I've just noticed the difference, because I was just filming his chin, saying I like the way the hair comes down like a, what do you call it, like a billy goat's gruff or something. That looks awesome right there. What a piece. But there is a difference in the sculpt of what's going on the chin on this one. It's not as long, a bit more triangular. So there is a difference there on the chin as well as the ears. Let's just go back to the face here. I think it's two totally different sculpts, because the brow... Yeah, the brow's different as well. Let me come out a little bit. Yeah, there's a lot of differences here. What about the shoulders? I'm noticing some veins on the brown one that are not on the... Well, they actually are, I think they are there. Just I'm not seeing them. They're a bit more camouflaged in. Any differences on the bodies? The groin looks about the same, like the fur there. Forearms, hands. I think that's all the same. But definitely the head sculpts, I'm seeing a fair few, like completely different, basically. Different sculpts for the heads. I don't know if that's going to be the case across the board with all four versions. I'll have to let you know about that when I review the other two. But, oh, I'm going to have to take a picture of that right there. There's a sweet spot. Okay, on to the werewolf comparisons. Now, this is the NECA Kessler Wolf, the ultimate Kessler Wolf, 7-inch scale, but he's a big quadruped werewolf. And that's how big he is with the Loosecollector werewolves. You're going to have to make some space for him. And this is the Syndicate Collectibles 1/12 scale Howling Werewolf Eddie Quest. And he is a lot smaller than these. NECA, the company that you just saw there with the American Werewolf of London figure, they are making the Howling Werewolves in 7-inch scale. They're going to stand about 9 inches tall. I'll have to measure these Loosecollector werewolves for you next. I'll tell you exactly how tall they are. But, you know, it does vary, because I have got him pretty much completely straight-legged on the brown one. Maybe could get him a bit more straight up. It's just a balancing act with him at the moment. I'll measure them for you in a minute. But that's how the Syndicate Collectibles Eddie Quest looks next to these guys. Here they are next to the Dog Soldiers Sota Toys figure. Very rare, an old piece now, and it's one of my favourites. I'm not sure what scale that is. The Dog Soldiers Werewolf in the middle, maybe 7-inch scale. I think they were pretty damn tall in the film. They were like 8 foot tall almost. So I'm not sure the scale of the Dog Soldiers Werewolf, but that is how it looks. They did a couple of different colour variants. I think they did a plain grey and a plain brown and a bloody grey and maybe even a bloody brown as well. It's like a Tower Records exclusive. But I've got the brown one of these still in its packaging, just keeping it sealed up. Okay, and then we have the cool models. That's COO models, one word. 1/12 scale werewolf. There's also a white version that I have as well. Both been reviewed on the channel. I really do like them, but seeing the difference, I mean, I was going to say the different scales, but no, they're the same scale. They're both 1/12 scale. It's just this one's a lot smaller. But the detail, the sculpt of the gum area and the mouth looks a bit derpy looking on the smaller one here compared to these more refined beasts. I mean, everything's just so sharply done, you know, just big, intimidating, scary wolves. I mean, I thought this guy was scary when I reviewed him, but compared to these guys, I don't know. Yeah, these are good figures though, don't get me wrong. If you're an enthusiast for the werewolves, lycanthropes, that's your thing, then you still need to investigate these little cool model 1/12 scale werewolves. They may have even done more versions since then. It was a few years ago I picked them up. Got them on 16kit.com. I got these. I've pre-ordered the white one and the black one from Big Bad Toy Store. The brown one was from Big Bad Toy Store, and the grey one was from eBay. So that's where I've been getting my stuff. And just for fun, there's Jack and David from American Werewolf in London from NECA. 7-inch scale figures. And if they thought they had it bad before, they're in for a real big nasty surprise. And I want to give a shout out to RB_toys on YouTube. Go subscribe to him, give him support on the channel. He's doing good stuff, man. He's got some stuff going on. He's trying to keep himself afloat mentally, I guess, like we all are with things that life throws at us. But my man RB_toys on Instagram, he needs some love and support right now. Going through some hard stuff, and just wanted to know I'm thinking of him. And get over to his channel and give him a sub, check out his videos, and say hi. Hope you're doing okay, RB. Stay strong, brother. Hope you're watching, enjoying this werewolf action. I'm not going to be doing many poses with them, folks, because I'm just too worried about anything going wrong. They're about, I don't know, I forget now what I paid. I'd have to double check. I guess it's around, with the shipping included, about 130, 120 maybe. And I think for what you get in size and heft wise and satisfaction level when you look at it, I think it's definitely worth it. I don't know how many of these are going to be made, how long they'll be around for. There was a time there when I was intrigued about them a while back. I couldn't really find any. They were really hard to track down for me personally, and then Big Bad Toy Store got them in again, so I swooped on that. But I wouldn't really hesitate too much if I were you. If you're a big werewolf fan, at least get one of them. If you can only get one, I'd try and get the black one. If not, the grey one here is pretty damn cool. The white one if you're into that, and the brown one if you're into that. It just depends. but they all seem to have slightly different head sculpts. Can't really go wrong with this grey version though, it's really nicely done. The paint job's really cool. Oh, but saying that, the brown one looks friggin' sick here, contrasting beautifully against the kind of bluish tones of the backdrop. That backdrop is from the 1/6 scale Cool Models Werewolf, which I didn't do a comparison of. It's that one with his arms up in the air, that one there in the middle. That's 1/6 scale, so it's obviously going to be bigger than these guys. But yeah, the brown one, oh, if I didn't have some loose joint issues with the knees and ankles on this one, maybe this would be my preferred one out of the two that I have currently. That paint job's really nice. Whew. It sure is pretty. It's got those more aggressive ears that are back as well, and his brow is definitely more aggressive looking on this one. Oh, you close his mouth and clench his teeth, he's even more pissed off looking now. Yeah, it's up to you. It's up to you. Tricky call if you're only getting one of them, but can't really go wrong with any of them, surely. I mean, they're all going to be awesome in their own right. Oh, it's like that background was made for these figures. They're just the right height for it. Little shot from the side. Looking awesome. It's kind of looking quite mischievous there, like he's got an evil grin. So the white one's the only one with different colour eyes. That one has red eyes. That's going to be interesting. I think the red eyes will contrast really well with the white fur when I do get that one. Like I said, I was thinking about painting that one black, but I probably will end up falling in love with the damn thing when it gets here. Alright folks, I'll wrap it up, give you my final thoughts and a score out of 10. I hope you've enjoyed this video. You will be seeing more of these on the channel for sure. I mean, I'll figure out all kinds of fun videos to do. Once the Howling NECA Werewolf comes out, I'm looking forward to doing like a top 10 werewolf figures video. That's going to be a while off because we have to wait for the NECA Howling Werewolf to be released. But it's not too long to wait for that one. In the meantime, I could come up with something. But final thoughts on these two are, there's 4 in total, 4 different colours, and they're all beautiful in their own right. They're pretty essential. If you're a werewolf fan and you love action figures, and certain action figures where they just stand out, kind of catch your eye, and maybe deserve a spot in your collection because of that, maybe it's not the kind of thing you'd usually go for, but I think everyone can agree, whether werewolves are your thing or not, you know, these are very incredible looking figures, and they are really satisfying, heavy, big, just chunky Van Helsing-esque werewolf designs. I mean, this is a pure werewolf here. This is that pure, just, this is what I think of, you know. I mean, there's so many answers to that. Like I said, the Howling Eddie Quist is my favorite design, but I mean, this is just the pure werewolf. You know, you look up werewolf in the dictionary, it'd probably be something like this. You'd hope so anyway. What would I give them out of 10, considering little issues here and there with articulation? Gotta give them a 9, can't give them a 10 because they're not, well, they are masterpiece figures, that's for damn sure, and that's the 10 score, masterpiece. But I mean, it's just a niggle. They're trying to work out the kinks. That's why there's this later batch coming where they've made improvements to the articulation, so Loosecollector are paying attention to it and doing their best. I don't know, they are masterpieces. To look at them, forget about it, they are 10 out of 10s, just some of them might have really stiff joints. You can fix that with a heat gun. Be careful, just loosen up the joint, hot water if you don't want to use a heat gun or a hairdryer. But yeah, I don't really think I should dock them the point, because it feels a bit wrong in my gut, you know. So I think we're looking at 2 10 out of 10 masterpiece werewolf figures here. I really do. It's been an absolute joy filming them. So let me know what you think in the comments, folks. Drop a like on it for me, that'll help more people discover this video. Hit the like button, I appreciate that support. And I hope you're all doing okay out there. I'll be back real soon. Got some Gremlins Gizmo Trick or Treat Studios, the props of the Mogwai, they're coming soon. I've got 3 of those coming maybe tomorrow. And some other bits and pieces. So keep it locked, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at DeanKnight333 for all the pictures. And I hope you've enjoyed it. See you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.